We'll start off with bright lights this evening. Tonight we're going to have staff from Hawthorne STEM School talk about their partnership with the Park and Recreation Department and the Community Learning Center.
Good evening. How's everyone doing this evening?
Excellent.
I was told to have bright lights and fireworks behind me, but you're going to have to just envision that. But we have several people here from Hawthorne, and actually they're from our Hawthorne. What we're kind of focusing in on this evening is our Park and Rec, our Community Learning Center grant that we received from the Wisconsin DPI. And so I have several individuals here that I want to come up because they're really the face of the program. They're the people who our students see in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. And they're also the people that our students and families see in the evening at 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'm going to have them come up and introduce themselves very quickly, and we're going to go through a quick presentation and highlight some of the pieces of our program for you this evening.
Hello, I'm Bobby Foreman. This is my second year at Hawthorne. I've done the before and after school for both years.
I'm Joe Evanchek. This is my third year at Hawthorne, and I've done before and after school.
I'm Steve Belknap. This is my second year at Hawthorne, doing before and after school.
I'm Danielle Soika, and this is my 5th year at the after-school program.
I'm Heather Basinger, and I have done 2 years at Hawthorne for before and after school.
I'm Therese Jashinsky, and I have done 5 years.
I'm Rosalba Fortis. I'm doing for 2 years after school at Hawthorne.
I'm Kristen Serpy. I work out of the Comunity Recreation Center. I'm kind of behind the scenes.
And Mary Berg, Recreation Supervisor, City of Waukesha. And I just have to say, I know this is a lot of people, but it really takes a team to build this great CLC that we have. And I just have to start out, too, by saying Joe Russell is a phenomenal principal. And this is not an afterthought, certainly within the school. It has, as you'll find out as we present more. But thank you for allowing us to be here.
So again, this goes against like every good presentation is to have this many people speak, but we're just going to break all the rules tonight. So backgrounds, our program in 2013, the City of Waukesha received a 5-year, $500,000 grant from DPI, and that was to promote before and after school youth development programs. And I have really shifted my language and shifted my belief system as a result of these people behind me and the partnership that we've created with Park and Rec. And we really have, prior to this program, this before and after school youth development program, it really was a daycare. It was a before and after school care for our families. But we have learned how much this program can leverage the development of our entire community. And so we've really shifted our language away from just before and after school care to developing the youth greater than just 8 to 4, what we do for a school. So the background is the DPI has provided these grants and these for about 10 to 15 years, and they, through a pretty rigorous grant writing process, we were chosen, and this is the second year of our grant, and we continue to find ways to leverage the program and the partnership each year. So our demographics prior to this, we had, in our just regular Park and Rec program, prior to the grant, we had about 30 students engaged consistently throughout the year. We're currently up to a third of our school population that participates in either the before or after school population or entire school, which is about 90 to 100 students currently. All families at Hawthorne are encouraged to participate. We're constantly trying to spread the word and engage families to participate in this, to spread the advantages of what occurs in the program. And so that's one of our challenges, is to get as many families engaged in the program as possible. But only in a year and a couple months, we're thrilled with the numbers that we currently have.
Okay, and in addition to Hawthorne working with us and us working with Hawthorne, Park and Rec brings to the table of a group of over 100 community partners. And out of those 100, we have a dedicated group that come and meet with us on a monthly basis, and that's our CLC advisory committee. And we meet, and it's really the whole concept of it takes a village. So we're able to provide enhanced programming not only for our students, but also for the families. And as you can see on the list there, those are all of our partners that we work with, and they all contribute, and they're sitting around the table monthly, contributing and giving us ideas and providing programming. So it's not just us, it's not just Hawthorne, it's really the whole community pulling together and supporting our cause.
Alrighty, first up, we're going to talk about our before school program, which is a key component of what we do. We're the first people that the kids and the parents see in the morning. They come in there, drop the kids off. Right away, we get them going. Games, obviously the fitness piece of it. Games, they switch up. It's a different game every day of the week, every day of the month. Get them doing a lot of things, working in a team, competitive, working, so sportsmanship. So after the game, good game, and they're reflecting on the games. Also, we have a nutrition education piece of it. That's the UW extensions you saw on the other screen. They come in and talk to them about healthy eating, the way they should be eating, what they shouldn't. They also do send them home with recipes for the parents to make them a healthy snack, which is a good piece of that. And then literacy and math are kind of tied into one. Just our homework time that we have before they start the school day. They get their body going, blood flowing. We get something to eat, and then we get into the books a little bit, kind of set the stage for the school day.
All right, as far as after school goes, we have 3 different rotations that are all equally 45 minutes long. One of the rotations is primarily recreational and social skill development, and the way we achieve this is through both structured and non-structured free play, where they could be outside on the playground similar to a recess time in school. But then we also give structured games where we try to keep their heart rates up to give them the health benefits, but also we have cooperation games, teamwork games for them to get a chance to work together and really build relationships with each other.
Next, we have the academic achievement section, and here we introduce them to new activities that they may not have tried before. We're hoping that by introducing them to archery, duct tape activities, and introducing them to nature groups that come and visit us, we're hoping that they continue these activities outside of our after-school program, and oftentimes we find that they do.
Along with that, we also hit on our Common Core, the science, mathematics, reading, and without them even knowing it, they're having fun while they're learning at the same time, so we think that's great.
And the last rotation that we have is the homework and individualized work, which we have kind of 2 different areas. The homework is something that we do with the students and then also with the teachers. We ask the teachers to let us know if the students have any type of projects or what they're working on in their class, so we're able to allow them time to work on that. And if they don't have any individual homework, then we're able to use the grant money to participate in a program that's the Compass Learning Program through Odyssey, and it is a program that uses the students' individual map skills to base a series of lessons and instruction online in form of games and activities that they can play, just like our academic achievement part that they really don't know that they're learning, but they are learning while they're playing games.
We only have about 40 more slides, so
Social emotional strategies. I feel that this is probably one of the most important components of our program. Our instructors over here on a weekly basis sit down and evaluate their groups as to how each child is operating when it comes to self-esteem, perseverance, organization, and I'm forgetting, what's the other one? There's 4. Social skills, okay. The reason that I feel that this is so important is that many times, not only the child, but I think we also see it in terms of the families, they come with not a very good self-esteem or self-image. And you need to have some of that in order to be able to perform academic work. If you have no confidence in what you do, and these individuals spend a lot of time helping these children to believe. And the same is true in terms of the families, because many times the families will come in and say, what did they do wrong today? But what we try to promote is a more positive way of looking at what your child did. They're not used to hearing something good. They're used to hearing something the other way around. And so anyway, what we in essence are doing is giving those kids, those families, tools to use, hopefully in terms of the future, so that they can continue to succeed. Because when you see a family that's got it, you know, they grow. And then they begin to tell other families about what's going on at Hawthorne.
Okay, so from an academic performance, we use MAP test scores to evaluate our academic performance. And 69% of CLC students met or exceeded their growth target. And CLC participants outperformed non-participants by 6% in math. And they outperformed non-participants by 14% in reading, with 68% of the CLC students meeting or exceeding their growth target scores. So we thought that was excellent for the first year, and we're looking forward to more growth in year 2.
And just to piggyback off of that, it's no wonder when you provide up to 20 additional hours of intentional teaching time and learning time. So we're not surprised by those results, but at the same time, we want to continue to build on that. So in addition to the social emotional evaluation, we also do parent evaluation, and this is just a kind of a quality control for us. And then also to engage the parents too and have some buy-in in our program. So as you can see by the statistics, so by the end of the first year, 75% of the parents felt that their child's academic performance improved, which is a good number, and we'd like to see that go up. Obviously, that's their perception data. So the 95% of the parents felt that their child had friends in the program, which is really important because we want all of the kids in our program to feel like they have a sense of belonging and they're part of a community. And then 100% of our parents were aware of the programs available for their child and family. And that's so important because we take this holistic approach of trying to provide programs for the families too. So we want them to be aware of everything we're offering, and that's offered through the partners I was talking about earlier. So for example, we have a Stop Bullying Behavior program and a Kids Managing Anger program through Parents Place, and they come in. That's just one example, but they're aware of those opportunities available to them. So. And then again, this quote kind of sums up everything that we've done and feel, but there's no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. And so just want to say thank you so much to all of our wonderful instructors, and Hawthorne and Joe and the school board for supporting what we do. So thank you so much.
Do board members have any questions? Dr. Langell?
Hi, thank you all. I mean, this is just phenomenal. And I feel, so strongly about this, but I guess with that goes some worry because you're talking about 15, 16, 17, I mean, then it's over. So is there a thought right now as to how funding can be continued beyond that? Because a program that's this good and this successful and is helping our kids this much, you don't want to see it die. Just, 5 years is great, but, and then also, just to Todd, but for some of our other schools that could well use this, do we have other avenues we might be approaching to get this in other schools? Okay. So it's sort of two questions there.
Yeah, okay. As far as the sustainability standpoint, some of the students that cannot afford the program, so students on free or reduced lunch, are not paying anything for the program. Right. The children that can afford to pay for the program are paying a portion to help cover the expenses. Mm-hmm. So there is a little bit of a fee structure in place. Certainly with all the community partner support, that helps offset some of the costs because a lot of these organizations are providing their services at no or minimal charge. Mm. So that certainly helps, but we're continually looking for ways, understanding that sustainability is something in the future we have to be concerned about. Some CLCs have been funded, as Joe had mentioned earlier, for 10 or 15 years. So we're hoping that we can still receive money in the second grant cycle. And in the meantime, as we meet with community partners, sustainability is something we're looking at. So it's an excellent question, and it's something we're certainly concerned about as well, but we're hopefully taking steps to
Right?
help continue to fund the program.
Yeah, thank you.
For
I
many,
hope
many
so.
years.
Many, many years. And what about part two? Is this something we can get at any
Hey,
of other schools?
you know, Act 32 kind of gutted our community services fund, so that's where
Yeah.
we cover these types of things, and that, in another year, there will be no dollars left in there, so we would just have to, you know, cut something somewhere else in order to put this into place, either at Hawthorne or other schools.
I also want to say too, this past year, Banting Elementary School also partnered with Park and Rec, so they're in their first year of their grant at receiving the CLC, as well as I believe Blair, their fiscal agent, their partners through La Casa, I believe. And so there are some schools in the district currently that are continuing to try to find these opportunities and through these grant opportunities. And they're there and they exist and there's lots of money there for that. So we were fortunate that we had a partnership already existed with Park and Rec, and what we were seeing is we had families that were coming in and finances and money and certain barriers or certain things were getting in the way as barriers, and this was an opportunity to kind of diminish some of those barriers.
Mrs. Brezink.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions. Is this wonderful program, is it unique to Hawthorne the way it is here?
Yes,
It is?
yes, sorry, yes.
Okay. And how many students participate?
99, between 90 to 95,
And how many students are at Hawthorne?
300.
300. Well, you wouldn't be able to handle the whole school if they decided to stay, would you?
We would find a way.
You would find a way.
Absolutely. And I think we're that is one of the things that we continue to try to evaluate. I mean, they're constantly saying, can we go here? But I think as our staff continues to learn about how much this program has leveraged for our entire community, they're more than willing to give up, you know, it's not my teacher space, it's space for learners to be even after school hours. And so they've got access to our gym, our library. We have several classrooms that are open for them to be able to use and access, and it's great. And our staff is continuing to find ways to have them be a part of what we do during the school day as well.
Well, it's so rich, you know, in everything, social, emotional, physical, academics. My goodness, those 90 kids are blessed to be a part of a program like this.
I believe so, and I just wanted to speak to the uniqueness as well.
Yes,
Because
yes.
we are in, we have after school at 7 sites. And so each school has its unique
Yes.
identity, and
Yes.
each school has unique needs. So as we looked to what we needed to do at Hawthorne, from the academic piece, we're working with Joe, and his staff are helping to train our staff, so there's a greater connection to the school day. So we try to make just connections wherever we can and with his teams. And I think also we're using a program called, we were using Compass, and we've moved to Scoop Pad. But at Banting, for example, we're using Achieve 3000. So we use
Okay.
different programs based on
Okay.
the school need. And,
School need, right, right.
So certainly there's some uniqueness at every
What
site.
is the cost per student?
For Scoot Pad or Compass or
Or
Achieve?
to participate in this
to
before and
to
after school?
participate. If they're on free or reduced lunch, if they're on free lunch, there is no cost to the program.
Okay.
If they are, if they can afford to pay,
Yes?
there is, it is
$4.
$4 in the morning and $5 for the evening.
Okay, that's still much more reasonable than if they went to somebody's house for
Right.
babysitting or to a daycare center, et cetera. Well, it's just a marvelous program when you think of all the areas of importance that it touches. The people that work there they're not teachers in the school, they're community members?
We have a variety. Mrs. Jazz is a special ed aide in our building.
Okay.
And so we're fortunate that she's kind of one of our coordinators between Park and Rec and within our building. And then Joe and Bobby also work within our building as regular ed assistants and special ed assistants as well. And so we would love to find these people positions within our district.
And then Will and Rochelle.
Oh, yes, and then we have 2 teacher liaisons as well that help kind of be the go-betweens between our program and the CLC, and that's Mr. Will Tagey and Rochelle Fieger as well. They're 2 level 3 teachers.
Wow, well, and are you people paid employees or not? Are you volunteers? You're paid, okay. I was just wondering, are you volunteering? So that's what part of the grant money goes to, I would assume, would be
Correct.
salaries, materials, right?
That's correct. That is
Okay.
correct. And I just have to say, with our after-school program and our before-school program, the consistency of these folks that are here, that really adds to the benefits for the child and the families and seeing their faces every day.
Sure.
And we're proud to say that when they stood up and they said how many years they were providing before and after school care for Hawthorne, really has an impact.
Sure.
So, just
Now,
their
did you, as
consistency.
the rec department, write for the grant, or did Hawthorne write for the grant?
Together.
Yeah.
It was a joint effort
Okay.
together.
Wonderful. It's just a phenomenal program. Way to go.
Mr. Bungart?
A couple logistical questions, Joe. I didn't catch, when does the day start, time clockwise, and when, how does the clock fit into this?
7 o'clock in the morning is when we provide the morning, and then there at the evening until 6 p.m.
Now, do you have busing in your school?
We have minimal busing. We have a couple buses, and so that's not a huge piece there. It's nice as well because our park and rec we also have a breakfast program, so they go feed right into our breakfast program as
That
well.
was another question I had. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you
Thank you.
for the presentation tonight, and we wish you luck moving forward.